Alright. This has been a long time coming. What I'm doing today is thanks to Classic Car Industries. They have gotten me a lock cylinder. Because the one that's currently in there, the previous owner obviously was an idiot. There's a lot of things I had noticed. And they had broke the key off. And the key goes far inside, and I gotta use, two system. I gotta use a little pair of pliers to pull it out, and somewhere in here, as I ripped out my radio because it pissed me off, there's a flathead. I might be sitting on it. But nevertheless, every time I had to take it to the shop or something, if I was doing brake lines and stuff that I couldn't do because I didn't want to fuck with shit, I have to use a flathead. I gotta push the key in as such. So now the key is inside. Of course it's off, so it won't start, obviously. And then I gotta put the key with the flathead, boom, 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 and start it. It's aggravating. It really is, and to me, it's a little bit of insult. Because it's just, I don't know. I like things to be perfect, and then you gotta pull here, and eventually that's gonna wear off, or eventually I'll lose that, and then I'm in a big heap of shit. So anyway, enough of the yapper. So I looked enough online to figure out how to do this. And it's basically, you gotta take the steering wheel apart. So it's an 84 Camaro V6 base model. The horn just pops off like such. There's a couple clips I gotta take off. There's a big clip in there. You can see. There's a big clip in there. It's a real fucking bitch. So the first thing you gotta take off is this pin. This pin's a bitch. If you don't have the right tool, I ended up using a combination of flatheads and Phillips heads to get it angled, to get my finger in there and pop it off. I hate these pins. They're the most retarded as fucking thing in the world. The next thing that was there was this bolt. Bolt, which took me a while to figure out which one it was 7/8. So I had to take that sucker off. Next was this thing. So the harmonizing, I bought this at, what the hell is it called? Vance Auto Parts in New York. It's where I live, unfortunately. I'm not gonna fuck. It's called OEM Tools. Okay. For the 84 Camaro, I thought this wasn't gonna work, but this is apparently how you have to put it in. So it was the only way to get the three things to line up. Seriously, it's just freaking retarded. So I got the bolts in, okay, and you just basically, from what I watched on a video quick on my phone, right? Make a video to watch a video to make a video, right? What the fuck? I ended up putting this rod in, and you keep turning it, and you'll start hearing like click, clunk, click, 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 clunk, and then eventually the steering wheel starts becoming very, very loose, which is the stage that I'm at right now. This bitch is going to slide right out. I can't even get it to stay in there now. It's like, oh, you wanted me out, bitch? I'm coming out. Oh, fuck, man. Alright, I'm trying to disassemble this thing quick, but it's hard when you're trying to hold a camera. I got my phone as a flashlight. My knees are supporting the steering wheel, and the tools don't want to frickin' come undone. It's like, come on, you schmucks. I bashed my finger yesterday, so every time I smack it on something, it hurts like hell right now. Oh, man. Son of a bitch. Oh. One out. Come on, you fuck. There we go. That's the other one out. Alright. And it just slides right off. That was really fucking simple. I felt like something hit my foot. Something did hit my foot. Those things are probably very important, so definitely grab those. Okay. Don't know where they went to. I probably will find out. Okay. Yeah, it's like, no, what do we do? Back to Mr. Flathead, huh? Alright, so after fighting with multiple flatheads and a thin one, I finally got this fucking thing elevated. What a bitch. I've been doing this for about an hour. So I finally got this stupid lock pin off. And there's really not that much pressure behind it. Once you push on it, then it finally slips. And then this slides right off. Okay. And then you have this collar. Okay. And this collar supposedly just, whoa, slides right off. Alright. We're getting there. And you have this big spring that comes right off. Okay, now they're talking about the amount of screws that you have. So I already took one screw off and it's down there. I gotta fish that fucker out. Then this one here goes to the turn signal. And I think this thing just basically ends up sliding out. I don't really see, I think I see another screw. Whoa. Okay, that's how you get to that screw. So let's fish this guy out. Magnetic flathead makes life so much easier. Phillips. Okay. So we'll take this screw out here. This is for the turn signal. Goes into like limp dick mode as soon as I did that. But that's because I just want to make this thing easier to remove. Now, let me take this stupid thing out. Make my life easier. Okay. Seems like it's on a bracket, which looks like it goes into like a pin or something on there. There's a little hole, so make sure that that's lined up beforehand. Now, give me a second. No! Great. You are, you fuck. Alright, so I took out the 3 screws. Make sure you keep your screws together. Now, from what I've seen on a lot of videos, this thing is basically when you pull it out, you're not really going to pull it far. Because you really can't. You gotta watch out what you yank on. Alright, so I got this loose. Alright, so what happened was, I was pulling. You know, you don't want to break anything. I removed some of the metal on here. And I gotta put those connections back in. But I was trying to see if there was like a screw or a flathead or, you know, some shit that was in the way. Actually, it turned out to be is the 4-way hazard lights has a Phillips head in it. So as soon as I slid that sucker out, all of a sudden this thing became freeway. Freestyle, free whatever the fuck you want to call it. Trying to fucking things in my hands. So that became very freeway. Oh my god, making up words as I go along. And it's hard to see, but as you can tell, right there is not a an Allen key, a Torx screw. Come on, camera. It's just a bolt. Or screw, whatever you want to call it. So, awesome. So all I gotta do is slide that out, and then I should be able to slide the tumbler out. Blech. 5/16 it is. Took off. Oops. I'm just washing his car now. Okay, so if you can see this, it's a small amount of threads and a long pin. Alright, so now this thing, see, that's the old key. Okay, so I'll stick that in there. I won't lose it. I'll hang it up on the wall. Sounds retarded, but okay. So that's the tumbler sliding out. Everybody sees it? Nope, nobody sees anything. Okay, so I'm sliding the tumbler out. I got the new one right here. Okay. So slide this one out. Okay. Note the position that it's sitting in. I see this plastic tab is worn off, which is one thing a lot of people have said, that they think that kind of caused a lot of the different issues. Of course, the plastic tabs were worn off. So I'll put you up there. This is the new one. Just look at the rings. Tons of metal shards in there, so I'm going to just try to fish them out. Probably just from you know, me using that damaged key that wasn't working, so you know, that doesn't help. There we go, she's in there. Cool. Say that. Sweet Jesus. Sweet fucking Jesus. Alright, so the new one's in there. Okay. You hear the clicking, so that's a good sound. So now we're going to start doing the reassembly process. This is the fun fucking shit. So slide the pin back in there. And, you know, while you're doing this stuff, it's not a bad idea to just add a little lube to a lot of these things, a lot of these parts. You know, I mean, they've been in there since the dawn of time. So, you know, a little bit of oil. I'm sliding all these things back in. It'll just help the longevity of it. Alright, so I put these screws in now. Where's my big screw? Now I need this guy for the turn signal. I need to put the third screw in. I said I'm just trying to remember off of my memory on where things go. Things are all so complicated. You've never done this before. So it takes 3 screws. Okay. And then this thing, I guess I can do that. Then I gotta lift this up There's a groove in here you gotta slide it into. Oh, I can find the damn groove. Okay, found it. I'll be able to do that again. And always test everything too before you move on. Okay, you get the screw in there nice. See, it slid out, so I didn't have it in all the way. Of course, right? Alright, make sure the damn screws all the way inside. And like I said, it's another thing. A little shoot of oil inside. Won't hurt. See a little bit of oil inside? That thing's going in there so nice right now. Nice and tight. There we go. Alright, sweet Jesus. Thank God. So we put this spring back in. Same thing. Spring goes right inside. And it was this guy here. They said they only went in one way. Can't tell what that one way was. I remember it set this way. It seems like it's pretty idiot proof when you put this thing in here. There's really no easy way to put it in. Moses. Be honest with you. I remember it was sitting like this. Okay. And the next fun part. Oh, I can't wait. Be this guy. No. He had this boot on him before I basically ripped it off it. Because I didn't think this was going on here, but I guess it's supposed to be. It's like a dust boot, basically, for better lack of words. So I'll slip you back on. No. Anyway. The way this thing sits is like this. The other way. Yeah, something like that. Stupid pen. Lock pen. Called the aggravating pen. mother. There's a bitch getting it off. There's gonna be a bitch getting it back on. Like, what else is fucking now? And get in there and pop this thing again. I swear, some things are just easier said than done. Holy tits. It's getting it up and over that little lip now. First I couldn't get it over the lip, now I can't get it over the lip the other way. It's like, what the fuck? Ow. Stay on there. Fuck. Come on. Like I said, they could have really came up with a better way of doing this than these stupid ass pins, because these things are just stupid. They really are. There's no intelligence at all put into these vehicles after a while. It's just the more I look at stuff, I'm like, come on. They're all like this too. Dodge is no better. Dodge is the culprit. There's a culprit of fucking stupid shit. Like, I replaced my dashboard. It was 5 different freaking bolts on the dashboard. 5 different sizes. I'm like, you fucking people retarded? Like, was each shift like, oh, let's put this one on her and then we'll do this one. I had to keep changing the socket every 5 fucking seconds. I was like, this is gay. There. Now I'm trying to put the pin on it. This spring-loaded fucker is not wanting that. It's dead pinned. Oh shit. Oh, shut up, phone. Mother, good Lord. Alright, so I had to run out and grab one of these. It's called a steering wheel lock plate remover, and it's also how you also reattach the fucker too. Because I couldn't get it on. I tried everything. My feet, my hands, my arms, hammers, crowbars, pushing against it, and I can't get it on. And just to let everybody know too, this piece, it's only like 16 bucks with tax. The threads fit here too. So it's fucking amazing. You know, it's phenomenal. You thread it all the way on there, and you think a little tool like this ain't gonna get that spring on there. Well, the way the threads are in here and the way this little butterfly works, I mean, I already did a little bit and it was already pushing in there nice. So I'm gonna actually slip the lock pin on there, and I'm gonna start sliding it on. And then as I get that crush spring all the way in there, I'll be able to lock that pin on there, and then hopefully we can get to getting the steering wheel back on. Alright, so I'm just showing you right now, I got this thing all plumbed up all the way in there, and I was able to slide the pin all the way down into the groove. So I had to push back all the way so I could see the groove. And then using the groove of the shaft is where I slid the flatheads in, so I can slide that pin all the way down, that lock pin. The lock pin's in there. I can start backing this thing off, and then I'll get to putting the steering wheel back on. But it's pretty simple, it really is. Once you have this tool, I think if I had this tool from the get-go, it would have been a lot easier, but doing this by hand with 2 flatheads, it was a royal pain in the ass. So I advise anybody that if you're going to do this, grab this tool, 16 bucks, and then the harmonizer, I think was $16 also. So you spend $32 and you don't bash up your fingers like I did. But hey, you know what? Blood makes work. So one of the things you gotta remember is the way you had your steering wheel on there from the get-go, obviously. So the way mine was this way. And the way you know is when you find that pin and it locks in, it goes in really tight. And you know, I can turn it. But I had it a little cocked because that's the way my wheels are. So now that's in there. Okay. So the next thing that I gotta do now is I gotta put the bolt on there, the nut, and then I gotta put that lock pin on there, put the steering wheel assembly back on, and that's really about it. But everything I've been doing, I've been moving everything up because, you know, this shit's, this can spray doesn't want to spray. Okay, Jesus Christ. Alright. What could I say? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm mentally fried. It's all done, actually. I just had to pop the air filter off and clean out my carburetor because she was running a little rough. Yes, I already did start it and stuff. Don't know why the beep is on, but probably something I gotta figure out. But I got the key. Key comes in and out, just how I want it. Oil light and volt lights, all those things always come on for me. It's just the way the car is. It runs. So, it's a good sound. That's it. Done.